9:31, so we will get going on this. Thank you everyone for joining. Today we will be going over a brief overview of Lifenet and some sales and marketing tools. And then I'm going to talk a lot on the new product we have coming in and things that it can do for you, and basically the changes we're going to see to how we write life insurance and how we follow up with things, because there's a lot of big changes here coming in October, so I want to make sure everyone's prepared for it. If you have any questions, type into the chat, or feel free to unmute your mic and just ask. But other than that, we will get going. So, accessing your book. We've had a lot of questions on how to pull my book and pull it out of Excel. So I will go to, we'll pull John Copps, wherever he is. So you go over here up in the top right corner, go to policy list, and then we'll pull out all the policies you have in your book, and you can go through all 8 pages. If you want to export it to Excel, you can just click that little button and it will download it, and then you can open it up in Excel. You can filter it out as needed. You can search for certain people. If you have like a certain client you want to find, that will be the best way to do it. Otherwise, if you want to just look through a lot of opportunities you have in your book, that would be another way to see it. Then it just comes up in a spreadsheet. You got all of the life insurance in that book. Super handy. I pull a lot of books, especially when looking for conversion opportunities, anyone in that scenario. Speaking of the conversions, there's another way to do it as well. You can look at your upcoming conversions. Come over to the main page under Action Alerts. You got term conversions. Come here and it'll show what's coming up in the next couple months. So looks like issue date, Farmers Premier 20-year non-nicotine 1998. It is well over the conversion. This one might just be glitched. However, these ones are coming up. 2006 was when it was issued in 2007. So you have a little bit around a year and a half for some of them. So that's another handy little tool. Forms and guides is also used a ton. It has every form needed that you will ever use to get a policy in force. Obviously, a lot of you people know about the new business change request. That is the bread and butter of submitting forms to underwriting. If you want to make any changes, that's how you would do it. However, there's a lot of other ones. If you have someone that maybe smokes marijuana and they disclose that to you, there's a drug questionnaire that will ask. And it's all alphabetical, by the way, but it'll ask, drug usage and how often, because now Minnesota is legal here, so that is a common question I see a lot. But if you ever need anything for to get a policy in force or anything like that, it will say the type of policy you need and the name of it, and then you can just come over here to Forms and Guides, find it. In terms of submitting these documents, let's say I have to submit a new business change request for one of my policies. If I go to here, let's pull up this one, Nate Stockman. You can go here and you can email regarding this policy, and you can click that and it'll actually just pull it up. You can attach what you want and say, hey, this is what I have, this is the new business change request, it's all filled out. This way you don't have to copy and paste the underwriter's information into your email and fill out an email. This will just very simple way to do it. I really like it, this little button right here. And then lastly, just contact info for anything you need. Like we have Tom Robb, Brianna Short. We have a new life specialist for our territory. You come down here to communications, contact us, and it'll have everything you need for certain areas. So like electronic documents, anything in here, claims documents, you can email, phone for new business underwriting, pre-sale support, commissions, fixed annuities. Keep going a little bit further, in-force policies, life claims, information on how to submit a claim if you have a death claim. Advanced markets, Tom Robb, if you have a really big case, Tom Robb would be able to help you. He takes calls. If you have someone like a business owner who wants to write a big buy sell or a key person policy, anything like that, he'd be able to help you out with that. And And then you got life sales, inside sales specialists. That's Brianna Short. And like I said, Scott Conway retired back in May. They just hired on a new person. His name is Jay Sweeney. He will be really helpful as well. Let's see, did someone just join? There we go. Okay, moving on to the sales and marketing side of it. Come over to the A&R. Oh, hold on, one moment. Do I have any questions so far? Okay. All right, can everyone?
If you're not here, mute, please.
All right, can everyone see the A&R? I think so. Okay, so in here you have a lot of good sales and marketing tactics. The one I like the most is life stories. If you have a good or bad life story, you can click on that and it'll come up to a infographic and it'll say tips for writing your life story and thinking about ways that life insurance may have made a significant impact on customers, people you may know, like friends, family, or even yourself. And then how to share it. So you can actually share your specific life story. We have Erin Janke has a story. She'll be talking about that towards we get closer to September. So if you have something that comes up, highly recommend talking about it because I like to write life insurance by telling stories and touching on the good and the bad of what life insurance brings. I think it makes it a lot easier for the client to understand the severity of it if you tell a story. Now that's just me, that's just my sales tactic, but whatever works for you. If you have a good story, share it.
Just say it and then embarrass them.
All right, sorry about that. And then lastly, if we go back to the A&R, and then you come over here to life sales concepts, there's two, and there's a lot of info in here. I'm only going to touch on a couple. One of them is overcoming objections. It's got a little spreadsheet that just has the most basic objections, and it's just, this could sit right there on your desk if you have producers that are wanting to write life insurance but don't know how to answer some of these questions. Print it out and just put it up on their desk. It's easy. I mean, I'm so busy. It's a very simple objection to get around because at the end of the day, people say they're busy, but there's always time to be spent, especially when it comes to protecting your loved ones and protecting yourself. Next, I have a prospecting list. So if you go to life sales, and if I need to slow down, if I'm talking too fast, please let me know. I kind of just get on a roll and I'll just keep going. But if you go over to life sales, scroll down, life prospecting letters. This is also a really good document. And it goes over auto cross-sell, home cross-sell, birthdays, beneficiaries, mortgagee, and life. And it's got a fully printed out email or letter that you can just copy and paste, send it out to your book. Super helpful, and it lets your customers know that this is something we offer. So I highly recommend send out some mailers like this. It's your birthday month. Let's take a look at your life insurance. Where do you have it? How much do you have? Super good document to use if you're looking to market more life insurance. Do I have any questions so far? Nope. Okay, we will move to the PowerPoint. So we have some new products coming in for life insurance. They're going to be sunsetting a couple. So just to start, there we go. So the products that are going away are the Farmer's Value Term, the Simple Term, the Graded Death, the Simple Whole Life, and the Essential Life. The systems that are going away are Lifenet and iGo. I know that might cause some worry for you guys, as that is where we do everything for our life insurance. However, it will be a lot better and a lot more streamlined. Coming in October, we'll have the Farmer's Term Life, which will be replacing the Value. the return of premium, which I'm really excited about, and then a very, very similar indexed universal life. There's not much change to it. And then as well in March of 2026, we are getting a new whole life product. So that's very exciting. However, like I said, the systems going away are Lifenet and the iGo e-app Illustrate. The new systems we have coming in are Life Electronic Application, i.e. LEA, and Life Underwriting Expert LUE. The company is very excited about these, and I will touch on why in a second. So right now, let me just talk about the Farmer's Term Life. It has 10, 15, 20, or 30-year terms. It starts from 50,000 versus the value term was 150, so you can write a lot more and a lot cheaper. However, the same thing with the rating classes. With the value term, you could only get the bottom two rating classes, Platinum and Platinum Choice, for $150,000 term. Now you can get rated at Platinum Elite for a $50,000 Farmer's Term Life. So that's pretty exciting. I mean, these premiums can be as low as $5 a month. So it really will generate more life sales, as well as the issue ages. Our other one, the 20-year, was only eligible up until age 60. Now we can go up to 65, so you can write 20-year terms on people that may be 64 or 65 years old, which I think is really beneficial because 85 to carry your life insurance through, that's a pretty good age. The other thing I'm really excited about is the credit and debit card. We now can write life insurance using credit and debit. You can write IULs with a credit card. You don't need to do the EFT, send in the bill. That will make things a lot easier. Conversions I will talk about a little bit later on, but there is some changes coming to the conversions. And then obviously the optional riders, we have accelerated death benefit rider for terminal illness, the accelerated death benefit rider, charitable giving, children's term, and waiver of premium. So that is the term life. Do I have any questions on that so far?
It will. I'm trying to take notes as fast as possible here, but are we going to get these slides?
Yes, I will send these slides out.
Awesome. Thank you.
Again, I talk very fast, so don't feel rushed. It's just how I work. So now we have the return of premium. This one I'm really excited about. It's term of 20 or 30 years, again, 50,000 to 10 million. And basically the way it works is if you survive through the term period of your policy, you will then get 90% of your premiums paid back. So that is, to me, really beneficial. A lot of people worry about, buying a term policy for 20 years and just sinking $8,000, $10,000, $15,000 down and not getting anything back. If you have people that are a little hesitant, you can say, hey, for 2 to 3 times more, because that's how the premiums will go. If you have a $30 Farmer's Term Life, a return of premium might be $100, $120 for the same amount of coverage. However, you do get, if you live through that term period, you get 90% of that back. So that could be very beneficial to people that are a little hesitant on putting money in and not seeing any return. I also think this will be a good selling point to push IULs. If someone agrees to a return of premium for $120, you could say, well, hey, if a Farmer's Term Life is $20, let's get a term life policy that will cover most of your expenses, and then let's get an IUL and put $100 into that. You now get 2 policies for almost as much coverage, if not more, for the same amount of price, plus you're generating wealth in your IUL. I think it'll be really good. It'll give clients options, and that's really what we want to do, is give them options to choose from. And then here's just some term comparisons between the legacy products that are leaving in the value term and the simple, and then the term life and the return of premium. So as I said, we were able to only go till age 60 for the 20-year term. Now we can go 65, which I think is again really great for the simple, because it was tough to get those in. People would want to write simples and get them in as fast as possible. Now we don't have that, but what was nice about the simple term was the push through underwriting. Like, it's a quick look and yep, you're approved, or nope, you're not. So it brings me to my next slide, which would, well, sorry, not next slide, conversions. Like I said, I will talk about the conversions. Legacy term policies are still available for conversion until age 65 or year 20, whichever comes first. However, the term life policies are adjusting a little bit. So now conversions, you can't convert it until the end of year 2, beginning of year 3. And you can do it either to age 65 or for a 10-year up to the 5th policy year, 15 years up to the 8th policy year, 20-year, 10, 30, 15. So in other words, you're not going to be able to write a 20-year term and then wait till the 19th year to reach out about a conversion. You need to start looking at it at probably for a 20-year, probably the 5 or 6 year mark, and start having the conversation and let them know, hey, even though you have this for 20 years, if we want to look at converting it, we only have until the 10th year. So that I think is a little bit tougher, but a lot changes. Like I said, for a 20-year term, a lot can change in 8 or 9 years. People might want to convert it and maybe just get a rewrite, and they rewrite a term policy, convert this current one to an IUL, and they can start generating some cash value as well as securing some major face value, death benefit. If you have any questions on the conversions, be happy to talk more about it. Just let me know. LEA and LUE, that is, I think, what is most exciting to me. So the company put a lot of time into the Life Electronic Application and Life Underwriting Expert. Basically what they are is Lifenet and iGo are going to be gone. All of the tracking and everything we do for our policies is in Lifenet. It will now be in Apex. You can go and see quotes you built on life insurance under all of your other quotes that you built for that customer. If you're building an application, it will autofill their current information so that you're not typing in their name, date of birth, height, weight, driver's license info. It will autofill that, which I think is really nice. The other thing that they had a lot of feedback on was people are not comfortable always talking about their medical issues. So they switched it to the agent will start the application, fill out a couple questions on amount, term length, whatever it may be. And then the application, once you hit submit, it actually goes to the client. They then can open it up in their email and they go out and fill out in a secure browser, fill out the application on their own. And it's a learning application. And what that means is based on their questions they answer, it will either ask more or ask less questions so that you're not going through this big 10-page application with all the questions being no, this person's in great health, there's nothing to it, but yet you still got to go through all of it. If you have a 25-year-old who's in great health, very active, this application can be done in probably 10 to 15 minutes. They are put a lot of time into saving our time. So if you go to the Life Underwriting Expert, LUE, it's automated underwriting up to $2 million. So if I put in an app for a $500,000 term on a 30-year-old, that will be approved in a matter of seconds. You submit the app, the underwriting expert, it's not a person anymore, it will just be the system. And the system will take a look at it and say, yep, this person's good, 30 years old, good health, here we go, submit, and it's approved right there. The other really nice part about it is once it is approved, it will say what you're approved up to. So instead, what we used to do would be submit an app for $500,000, get the price back, and then say, hey, you got Platinum Elite. Maybe we bump this up to 750, maybe $1 million. Now it will say this customer is approved up to $2 million, and here's the price. So then you can actually go in and just customize the app right there and change the face amount, and it'll update the premium on the go, and it'll tell you exactly what you need to go from there. They said the decreased time from the application to issuance is 23 days down to just a couple hours. I think that is unbelievable. I mean, all of you guys write life insurance, you know how long it can be to get an app in and then all the way through to the issue date. It takes a while. That is going to be done. The automated underwriting goes up to $2 million. Anything after that will require additional underwriting. However, it still will be a lot more streamlined and a lot quicker.
So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So does that eliminate parameds?
Yes and no. So you still might get a paramed, depending on the amount of coverage and what you put in the application. However, it's a lot less likely. Now their goal is to have 70 to 80% of policies being issued right away with no parameds needed, basically just saving as much time as the company can without putting us in a bad spot.
And what about like that APS, attending physician report?
That
Will
one,
that be going away mostly?
yes, it'll be going away much like the paramed. If it's absolutely needed based on the questions answered in the app, they will reach out to it, but most of the time, if it's not needed, they will say, okay, this is issued, good to go. Great question. Do we have any other questions?
The other question I have, people might be thinking about is the temporary insurance agreement.
There is no temporary
There is
insurance agreement. So that one mainly is because you're not, like I said, you don't have all this lag time, like 23 days to the application to issuance. Now it's just a couple hours. The company does not have any temporary insurance in place right now, but there is talk that it might come in the future, depending on the size and issue they have for the policy.
Okay.
So if it's a really big policy that does require additional underwriting, there might be temporary insurance, but right now there is not. So then basically how the new sales cycle works is the agent will be the dark blue and the client is the light blue. The agent starts the conversation, all in the Apex account. Then you move to initiating the quote. It bridges to the Life electronic application. The requested product and face amount indicative quote. Oh, sorry. Indicative. There we go. Sorry, reading's tough. Customer authorization details. You move on to that. That kicks out the application to the client. The client then goes in on their own time and completes it. Then it goes back to the agent. You go over the coverage confirmation, premium offer, maximum face amount, owner details, beneficiary details, agent e-sig, and then you move on to the purchase. Then it goes back to the customer screen, the payment details, and the customer e-signature. And again, with the payment, you can use credit card. Amex is acceptable. I'm really excited about that part just because I've filled out a lot of EFT forms and it's just, this is gonna make it so much easier. A lot of people like to just put it on a credit card. So that I think is a real plus. Whoa. All right, and that is all I have for slides. Do we have any questions? Stop sharing. I know I went over a lot of information. Go ahead.
When does the new changes go into effect? Like when are the tools that we currently have going away, and when do we have to start using the new tools?
So these are rough dates I have, but I'm gonna try my best to get them as accurate as possible. September 15th is when the new portal will launch, and you'll be able to do it all through Apex. Lifenet gets sunsetted on December 1st. But it's gonna be like, how do I say this? It's gonna be moving more towards the Apex side of things on October 13th. And underwriting will be on Lifenet. Any policies issued through there will be underwritten through the November 28th. Sorry, I got a question from Kay. Let's see, let's pop open the chat. If it wants to load. Okay. I didn't. So that one, yes, you will be able to walk through them. I've heard of a couple agencies that are like buying an iPad and it'll sit in the office for any agents or any customers that want to come and fill it out on their own. You will be able to walk it through with them, but they would have to sign into their email. The application will then go to them and they can fill it out. The company really wanted to move away from having us fill out the application for them because there was a lot of feedback given that people don't like sharing personal information and medical information like that, and they wanted to be able to do it on their own. So that's where we're moving to. I haven't done any of it yet, so I don't know how I feel about it, but I think it will be a lot better. I think it'll give a lot more security to the clients. Any other questions that I might have missed, or?
One thing that was talked about was just making sure that at the beginning of the application, that the information is very, very accurate.
Yes,
Because
so,
you can't be going back, you can't go back in and change that application.
yep,
So say they spell their name wrong, or they put their date of birth wrong, or they miss a number in their address.
Yep.
The application has to restart.
yep, so that's where it's very key that people are honest and they don't make any mistakes. Luckily with, like, you won't have misspelled names, you won't have in wrong social security numbers, any of that, because it does autofill.
As long as the input is correct.
As long as the input
As long as you
originally
put it in
in
right.
Apex is right, it will autofill. So you'll always have an option to double check it. I recommend you do that. If you have, like, if you're writing a juvenile IUL on a 3-year-old and they don't have the height and weight and they just kind of wing it and say, yeah, he's a foot tall and he's 30 pounds. The company would look at that and be like, well, a 3-year-old's not going to be a foot tall and 30 pounds, and that's going to be an automatic decline. It is very, very important that the customer knows that you cannot fabricate anything on these applications. It needs to be as exact as possible. Whereas it used to be, like, you could just submit a new business change request and redo it. Whitney, you had a question?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't chat in, so I don't know why, but our chat is blocked. But our question was, so obviously with them filling it out on their own, is there not going to be, like, I don't know if we can give feedback, but is there not going to be ever an option then for us to help fill it out for them?
I don't know.
Because we don't have that many issues with people being like, oh, I don't want to give you that information. Like, we actually have pretty good success with people just being like, yeah, no, this is great. Because I mean, a lot of the clients that we're selling obviously trusted us with all the rest of their insurance. So typically they're not opposed to giving us that information. And we've noticed, like, even if we have someone that's like, I just don't have time right now, and we've emailed them the questions, it's a 50-50 whether we get them back or not, right? And so I feel like giving them the option to fill this out on their own just seems, I don't know. It maybe for some it'll go really good, and then I feel like for those that maybe actually just want you to do it really quickly so they don't have to worry about it, I feel like are not gonna, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not, right now, it won't be back to the agent. However, if the company gets enough feedback, they might add that in. Like I said, this system it's new and they're trying to improve the process as best as possible. I agree with you on that. You know, sometimes it can be hard getting them back. I think if you keep them on the phone though and say, hey, I just sent you over that application.
Yeah.
Continue the small talk and just, my goal will be keeping them on the phone, saying, hey, just pop it over. They can do it all off of their phone, on their email on their phone. It doesn't need to be on a browser or like a web laptop. So that part I do like. But
I'm excited for the system. I think it's going to be a simpler flow. That part, I'm like, okay. It kind of takes the agent out of it a little bit, which for some moments it is nice to have them fill out their own information, right?
Yeah.
It's on them if they answer a question, right?
So,
But
I
don't know.
It's a very different way that we're not used to.
yeah, it is. It's
Yep.
gonna be a change, and I think we'll adjust. They did put on the application for the client, when they're filling it out, if you have any questions, it will autofill with the agent name and number and the agency line. So if they're going through the application, they get stuck or something, they have the number right there. They can just quick call you. But like I said, the application was meant to be trimmed down and made very easy. There's not a lot of questions that people that aren't in the industry wouldn't know how to answer. It's very standard. It's, hey, what's your height and weight? What's your job? Where do you work? Very simple stuff. The other part for nicotine ratings that I found out was, it's not like Like I've had a couple people that said they smoke a cigar a couple times a year. I disclose that and then they get rated as nicotine. Really a bummer because that's not, in my mind, a real risk nicotine user. Now the limit is 2 or more times per month. So if you have a guy that says, yeah, I smoke about 10 cigars a year, as long as you're not going over 2 times per month in the question, it won't flag it as a nicotine user.
I think the other reason for doing it too, if you're face to face with your customer, say you're doing an FFR with them and they're interested in life insurance, you can send them the link immediately in that meeting. They can pull it up and you can have that face to face conversation.
Yep.
And help them with the application. Or like Will said, there was a guy that was part of the trial period of this. Yep. That bought iPads for the agency, so they've been inviting people in to
Yep.
fill it out while they're in the agency. So I still think you can have that personal touch.
Yeah.
However you wanna make it.
And I think it'll be a little bit of a learning curve early on. What's gonna be the best practice, I don't know. Again, my bet is, either get an iPad, and if you have a lot of walk-ins, a lot of people that come into the office, get something small that they can fill it out on right next to you, and you can do it all that way. Otherwise, keep them on the phone and just say, hey, just send you over. I just completed my end of it. It's going to come to you. Let's get this done. And it really will be done in about 25 minutes. I sat in on a demo of the system yesterday. It's really smooth. It's really quick. You can get all the way from starting the application to it actually being issued in a matter of an hour. I was very impressed with it. But yes, I do agree with you. There's the sale can get stuck in the mud, as Kay said. So like I said, it'll be a learning curve. But I think this will be a better system for it in the long run. Any other questions?
We have one more.
Okay, and I'm sorry if I missed this originally, but from what I understand, all of the quotes and things like that will live in Apex. So will IUL illustrations also live in Apex?
Yes. Yes. Okay. So everything will be done in Apex. If you go to your home auto, it will show right under life quote. And that's also where you'll follow up. So if you go to your client's page, scroll down to the policies, it will say life quote started on this time, this date. And then the status of it. If it's awaiting the agent, it'll say awaiting agent, awaiting consumer. So that's where you'll follow up with where your policies are.
Awesome. And then one more thing. So obviously right now the agent and the producer have to sign the applications. Is that something that is still needed before it goes to the customer, or does it go from producer to customer?
Yes, that will be in the process. It'll be after the customer has filled out the application, it then gets sent back to the agent. And there's a section you can put whoever's involved in on the sale. Once that's all done, you submit that, then it goes back to the client to submit their credit card information, bank information, whatever it is, and make the purchase.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Any others?
I got a question. If we have a application out and then it's like while the new products are rolling out and someone gets approved or denied, will they be able to see both options on the new one? Will they be grandfathered in and need to do another app if they want to be on the new one, or how will that kind of work?
Underwriting will go up until November 28th. So all products that we have right now, you'll still be able to write them. I don't exactly know what will happen if it doesn't. I think they'll give all answers to questions by the 28th. I believe the iGo Illustrate will be gone sometime in October, so you can't submit a value term in November 1st to eliminate the people that put in applications and then it doesn't get underwritten in time.
That's a good question though, Evan. If they're declined in a value term, could they reapply in the new term?
Most likely. I mean,
I don't know.
Reapply. Yeah, I don't see why not. You reapply and then see what it comes back with. like I said, they've made a lot of changes with rating classes. I didn't love that I'd have to write a $300,000 in $1 to get someone rated at platinum plus. So now it's, if I write a $50,000 term, farmer's term life, it can get approved at Platinum Elite, which I think is really special because that would be $4 or $5. So that'd be a huge discount opportunity. I think it'll be a lot easier to hit those quarterly goals and yearly goals for life insurance now with the new system.
And the customer can also manage their policy.
Yep.
So they can go in and change their beneficiaries.
Yep, so they can go do all
update their
that through the app. It'll be accessible all through their farmer's app. They can go make changes they need to. A lot more hands-on with the insured. Any other questions?
Are you guys excited?
We're
I
excited.
can't wait for
Yeah.
Lifenet to leave. Lifenet is terrible.
very
I've never liked it.
Yeah,
Good feedback.
I'm
Yeah.
really excited.
It'll be great.
Like I said, the demo I sat in on yesterday, it was really good. It looks a lot quicker, a lot faster. I think my favorite part is being able to customize the face amount right there as it gets approved. You know, you $500,000 term, you're approved up to 2 million. Do we want to maybe increase this? You got a really good rate. Let's try to get you some more coverage. It'll be a great area to upsell. But yeah, other than that is all I have. I'll get you guys 7 minutes back in your day. If you have any more questions that you come up with, please shoot me or Robin an email. I'll be happy to help you out. I will send out these slides after this, so you'll have access to them, as well as in University of Farmers, everyone got assigned the life training. This it touches on everything that I just talked about, and maybe a little bit more in depth. So go ahead and use that and use it. It's due, I believe, by the end of October. But again, I learned a lot just from going through that. I really recommend you get it done early because September 15th is just a couple weeks away, and everything's going to be changing here soon. So on that, I will end the meeting now. If you guys have any questions, like I said, come shoot me an email, reach out to Robin. We'll be happy to help you out with anything.
We are farmers. Bum, ba, dum, bum, 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 bum.